clap now with everybody on mute, but unbelievable. Congratulations to our golf program, to Coach Lewellen, the National Coach of the Year. We can kind of run through the list of credits throughout the season, the 4 tournaments won, the 4 All-Americans on the roster. All of you on the call probably know all of the stats. But just an incredible season for Wake Forest women's golf. Again, as more folks are dialing in here, we'll kind of get started now. As you are dialing in, I ask you to please just place your line on mute, and we'll do the best we can at having a conversation. Many of you submitted questions in advance, so I'll kind of get the conversation started by tossing some of those questions that were put out in advance going. But as more questions come to mind, and as we start getting into conversation that prompts more ideas in your mind, please, there's a chat bubble on the bottom of your screen. You know, everybody has, I think we've all grown in our understanding of the Zooms and the WebExes over the last 2 months, to the point that we've kind of gotten maybe dangerously kind of good at this. But for those that are new to the WebEx, there's maybe 5 or 6 little icons at the bottom of your screen. One of those is a chat bubble. So you can click on that bubble and a chat box will pop up on the right hand of your screen. And hopefully we can have some fantastic communication going there. But I'll start. The first question is for Coach Lewellen. Maybe, Kim, you can kind of take this time to introduce Ryan and the student athletes we have on this call. But the first question is just, what have you been doing over the past 2 months? How have the past 2 months gone?
Well, first of all, I want to say hello to everyone. It's so nice to see who's called in, and it feels like home when I see everybody's name pop up. And when I love to see Ryan swinging Amelia. Welcome you guys onto this call. I'll get goodness emotional with seeing my student athletes and all of them. It's hard not to be that close to you guys right now. So it's wonderful to see all of you. What have I been doing the last few months? Well, probably like everybody, taking one day at a time, figuring out what the next day is going to bring. I've been reading a lot of books. 2 of my favorite, Obstacle is the Way. So please read that. The Obstacle is the Way and Atomic Habits are 2 of my favorite books. So read those. I'm reading a lot up on, I've been way into DeChambeau, as Swing knows, because I talk about him all the time. But I've been very interested in what he's been doing in his with his golf swing and his workouts. So listening to a lot of his podcasts, listening to some statistical things through GameForge that I really like. And again, Swing, we've been able to stay in contact. So she's heard a lot of this, probably sick of it by now. But yeah, so that's what I've been doing. And actually been working on my golf game. And I think Ryan said he played yesterday for the first day. Goodness, in a year or something. So I look forward to hearing about that, Ryan. But Ryan's on the call, Amelia's on the call, Swing, 2 of our Americans, 2 of our, they're coming back next year, so Swing's returning, so we'll let her talk about that soon. But yeah, that's about it for now.
Ryan, I mean, Kim brought up your golf game now. You're getting out on the course now. How'd it go yesterday?
Yeah, it wasn't bad, actually. The first 3 holes were a little rough because I hadn't played since August. But after that, I hit almost all the greens but 1, so I was happy with that. So it was enjoyable, and I was playing with my dad. So you know, that's really the reason why I play now, is if I can play with my dad and enjoy some time with him. So yeah, it was great. I've been doing some reading as well. Just, you know, really, it's tough being away, but I've been trying to do some things that will help when we get back, you know, when we next see each other, to help our girls as best we can and kind of hit the ground running from there. So like Kim said, we have some really good players coming back, and we're really excited that Swing's coming back. And so yeah, we're just kind of, I think, every day anticipating when we're going to be back together, and looking forward to that. So I'll pass it off to someone else.
Well, we keep on mentioning Swing, and Swing, congratulations on your graduation the other day, and we're excited to have you back next year. Coach Kim mentioned, you know, you're having conversations, it seems like, frequently, and you're maybe getting tired of her. What have you guys been talking about? Tell us about what's been going on with with your world the last few months?
Well, like just to go off of what Coach and I have been talking about, it's mainly just how Bryson DeChambeau has been training. Like he's kind of famous for being like that smart guy who just writes down formulas on his yardage book during practice rounds. So we were just kind of trying to dive into like what he's been doing during the off season, like to like best prepare himself for like when the season resumes, like his workouts and stuff, and like what's his take on like the swing, and like if you're getting sore in this body part, maybe it means like you need to train like somewhere else, like everything's like connected, but it's like not as obvious as you might think. So like just like little things like that, like about golf. And
Tell them about what you're going to study next year. This is interesting.
oh yeah, I'm gonna be studying business analytics next year, and Coach has a couple of friends who do like sports analytics, so we kind of talk about like if there's any possibility that I can apply the business analytics like thing that going to be studying into like sports analytics, like things like the selection process on the in the sports leagues. Like it's not that common. It's mainly like sports analytics for golf right now. It's mainly just in TrackMan and stuff, but then it can apply to so many different areas like recruiting, or like I think the example Coach mentioned was in football teams or something. Like they would try to compare the characteristics of each player with the best players in the industry, like if you're in the same position, and compare those characteristics. And if like someone, they think that there's like a huge mismatch between those characteristics, like they might just get rid of that person already, even before that person is like starting to struggle with the performance, because they like, just according to the model, they don't think it's like a good fit anymore, and they can see that that person is going to go into decline. So like my question about golf is like, can you see like can sponsors like build a model to like select players that fit their like core values and ideas, or the players might have like the best career earnings in the future, or like the most amount of like positive exposure, so they can choose like what players they want to like pick. It's kind of like, I don't know, basketball, like when you're like round one, round two selections and stuff like that. So I just find that really fascinating.
I think we both do. We're doing Moneyball for golf right now, so we were been talking about that quite a bit. So, Amelia, are you on the call?
Does anybody follow that? It's so far over my head. Congratulations, that's awesome.
Yeah. Is Amelia on the call yet?
Yeah.
I can't see you for some. There you are. Hello.
Hi.
So Amelia, what have you been doing? Because I know you've been fortunate. Your golf course has been open.
Yeah, so I'm so happy, or I'd probably have identity issues if I couldn't play or practice golf. But yeah, and it's really cool. So my club right now is having this tournament. It's called the Bird Cup, and it's a men's tournament, but this guy that I play with a lot, he has a 13-year-old son, Bennett, so I play with them all the time. And he was like, Amelia, you should play in it. And I was like, I don't know. But everyone was like, Amelia, you need to play in it. You need to play in it. So it's a match play event from the tips, which is 7,000 yards at my course. So I had to qualify for it. And I shot 72. So I was the 3 seed. And so, yeah, I've 16 people qualified, and I've had 2 matches so far and won both of them. So so yeah, that's been super fun. It's been like a really cool challenge because like I have, 5-iron and hybrid into every club and or every hole, and just having a competition around that feeling is so nice to have back. But yeah, it's like
easy when you have 7-iron and in it. When you have some shorter irons, it'll be easy.
Yeah,
well,
it's a lot harder. So yeah, but it's super fun, and it's spread out throughout the summer because normally it's played because people have work, so they only have it on the weekend. So it's like every 2 weeks you play another match. So that's also good because then it's kind of my competition time spreads out a little longer. So I've been doing that, which has been fun, and everyone's been super supportive at my club. Like all the guys are like, Amelia, we have all of our money on you. So I'm like, okay.
Sure. Pressure.
So, but yeah, that's been fun, and I've also been, unfortunately, I can't lift, do any strength training. I've been doing like body weight and bands and stuff, but one thing I've really been doing is working on my speed. So I've been working on my mile time, and there's a loop in in our neighborhood. It's like 3.4 miles. So I've been training that, and getting a lot faster, which has been really cool. And yeah, and then I've been reading a lot too. Seems like a lot of people are doing that, but Swing and I, we consistently give each other book recommendations and send each other quotes that we love. So yeah, that's also been like fun. I look forward to Swing's 5 text when she's talking about a book that she loves, and we kind of go on a little conversation about it. So yeah, I got Audible. So I think I'm on like my 4th book. I'm actually reading Becoming Swing. So Michelle Obama's book. So that's been really cool. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to. My family, we play dominoes almost every night. So my mom wins every time. I don't know why, but yeah, so that's what I've been doing.
Amelia, if you're looking at the chat bar, Coach Daly asked if you've still been writing over the summer at all.
Yes, I have. I actually just started writing yesterday. So what I'm writing now is I don't have a title yet, but it's like my golf book. So it's a girl who wants to win the US Open, or like wants to play professional golf. Her name's Heather Kingston. But yeah, so I've been writing. I wrote that a lot last summer. So I'm about like 100 pages in, but I just kind of started picking it up again. But yeah, so I have been writing, and I think someone asked what my time is. So okay, so I guess for me, it's fast for me, but my fastest ever was in 6th grade when I ran a 6:59 mile time. But right now my fastest is 7:34, which I'm okay with that. I think that's pretty good for me. And then for my 3.4 mile, I got my fastest is 27 minutes and 26 seconds. So pretty good for me too. But yeah.
You know someone's a competitive athlete when they know the exact time from 6th grade that they ran in any individual event.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic. There's also a question from Charlene from a minute ago asking about tournaments this summer, and there's a couple big tournaments heading into the fall and winter that have been pushed back a little bit, but maybe Swing, you want to get into some of the tournaments you all have coming up in front of you?
Well, for me, I don't really have a lot of tournaments coming up because, like, my original plan was to fly back to China and play some tournaments back home. But since that changed, so I'm like just staying here. And plus, my summer school starts on July 8th. So, like, I'm not like playing that much really. But if U.S. Women's Amateur is still going to be held at the same time, which is going to be August 6th, I think it's starting August 6th, then I'm going to be playing there, and it's in Maryland. Like my summer session is like completely like online, and I'm like trying to study ahead a little bit right now, so like I won't have to struggle when I'm trying to catch up because that's like like a week straight. So that's kind of what I've been doing right now, and yeah, like U.S. Women's Am is basically the only tournament I'm planning on playing during the summer.
Yeah, for me, I'm registered for the North and South, which is in Pinehurst, and the Canadian Am, and the US Am. So I don't know if the North and South I doubt the Canadian Am will happen because we'll have to fly there, but I'm really hoping I'll get to play the North and South. And USGA just sent out an email a couple days ago that the USAM and the US Women's AM was still on for the scheduled dates. So that's hopeful. But yeah, so.
And they both will, so we've got Amelia and Rachel that will be playing in the Palmer Cup. And actually Swing had been invited, but that time she was turning pro. So unfortunately they moved on. So I'm not sure. Swing was invited to play, but I'm not sure what'll happen with that now. But, and then both Amelia and Swing are, tell us about the ANWA. They've moved it. What's going on with that?
So like they canceled the one in 2020, but like all the participants invited in 2020 will be automatically invited back to the 2021 annual event. I'm not sure how like the 2021 selection is gonna go, but like, at least Amelia and I are gonna be in it. And I'm very much looking forward to it, and I bet that Amelia is too. Like I grew up watching the Masters, like, and like I used to never stay up at night as a kid back home, but then just like for the Masters, like you just have to stay up and watch it all night. So yeah, I'm like super excited to experience that course in person and stuff. And I guess I'll pass it off to Amelia to say some other stuff about it.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I know they did everything they could to have the event this year, but there was too many overlap tournaments at the time. But yeah, I'm so excited to play again and to be there with Swing. And I really hope that that we'll get some other of our teammates to be able to play. Of course, we don't know how the 2021 selection will go, but I'm really hopeful that we'll be able to have some other of our teammates playing in the tournament too. But yeah, I'm just really excited to just experience the tournament again with Swing and hopefully some more of our girls. So it'll be really fun.
So let's get into a question that had been submitted about a week ago. And I think it kind of reflects where this conversation is going right now. The question is from Stephanie Neal Harner, who I'm not sure is on the call unless she's one of the folks calling in over the phone. But she said, I really admire how you and the team have handled responding to the shortened season and remote learning situation and have stayed so upbeat through it all, which I think is coming through loud and clear so far in this call. How have you been able to stay so positive, and of what are you most proud? Is her question. I don't know who wanted to jump into that first, but it's a good one. Maybe Kim, just to take the slack off everyone else, if you wanted to jump into just how have you kind of created an environment where you and your student athletes are staying so positive through the past few months?
I think first and foremost, we have positive athletes, which is helpful. You know, they're upbeat and they're I don't think there's not a van ride that we're not dancing and laughing most of the time. So we have an upbeat group anyway. And, you know, and I think with golf, and I think you learn this in lots of sports, but you have to handle adversity. I mean, you know, you're playing 100 players and the odds of you winning, you know, you lose more than you win, right? Because you're, you know, and so you're always handling adversity and you're always handling a situation and trying to get better at a situation and growing from what you've learned. And so I think, you know, they have, all of our student athletes have that mentality. So yes, we were pulled off the golf course in Arizona. We had to figure out at that moment, you know, how to get everybody safe. Check, they handled that. Now they're having to deal with, okay, this tournament was canceled. This summer tournament's canceled. What am I going to do? What's Amelia doing right now? She's trying to get as fast as she can. She's working on her swing mechanics. What's Swing doing? She's also doing both of those things. And we're having some statistical talks because they're interesting. But then she's also planning ahead, going ahead and getting ahead of summer school. So, you know, they just are always looking for learning from what's happening, taking that time and growing. And I think Coach Daly did a great job recruiting these student athletes, and they're positive and upbeat. And, you know, they take it and try to get better each day, even if they're in a situation that they might not have planned for.
I'm liking the shout out on the social media game.
Yes.
And maybe that's a good kind of segue into this part of the conversation. There's got to be a favorite social media moment over the last few weeks, or something that you all have been able to do just in texting each other or just staying up. And by the way, you all are laughing. I'm assuming there's some good stories there.
Yes.
I don't know, Amelia, if there's something you'd want to share on a favorite story or memory here.
I think my favorite. So we're doing a lot of trick shots, and every time it just cracks me up. Rachel Keene can hit the best controlled top you have ever seen. It's so good. But yeah, we've been having a lot of fun making those videos. It's also a great way to just connect with each other, and just seeing what everyone's up to. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. That's another way we've all been, staying really positive. So
Yeah,
Swing, anything to add to that?
for me, it's also the trick shot one. Like, I'm personally not good at it, and there was a struggle filming it. But then, like, the moment that I actually succeeded, oh my god, I was screaming and jumping. Like, Lucy cut that part off because our video is already really long, but you guys should have seen that. I was ecstatic. Oh my god.
And I think a shaft was sacrificed during you trying to do a trick.
Yeah, I was trying to like hit the ball like with a baseball bat, but like I somehow decided to use my driver, and of course I picked the driver when I actually need to work on my driver, and the ball hit the shaft and it broke my driver. So down goes my first broken club.
yeah, I will
So
just.
I'm kind of thinking, Ryan, you were out on the course yesterday actually trying your trick shots and not actually playing around, huh?
Well, I submitted one for the Instagram post, and that was enough for me. I don't. That's all I've got. So I went out on a high note.
I think we got the most hits because of of Ryan's finish. It was phenomenal. If you haven't seen it, go back and look at it.
It's so good.
And to be honest, for the first 5-10 minutes, I had my 6-year-old tossing the ball to me, and that was not going well. So luckily, somebody else, there was Parker on the men's team was there, so it got done very quickly after I got somebody good tossing the ball to me. So yeah.
Well, again, y'all, as questions come up, please keep placing them in the chat box. We're going to go back to a question that had been asked, had been submitted by email the other day from Anthony Tang. Anthony asked, and this is for Amelia and Swing, what have you most enjoyed about Wake Forest during your time in Winston-Salem? So take that wherever you want to take it, but whether it's a memory around school, around the golf program, or maybe just around your teammates, something that's happened on one of these road trips and whatever's going on in that band when you all are dancing around. What's an enjoyable memory you've had just being at Wake?
For me,
Yeah,
okay. I mean, for me, it has to be competing for the national championship together. I mean, we got up, in the fours, like 4:30, and we played, but like it was just there was so much energy in all of us, and we wanted it so bad, and like it was the most fun week ever because watching everyone finish and stroke play and like I would, and having the men's team there and they were watching us in our matches, like I made a long putt in front of them and they were like screaming so loud, and it was just so fun to have that kind of support, and just being with the girls. But I definitely love all of our van rides. I feel like we always make it very interesting for Ryan and Kim too. I feel like they always get a good laugh out of our weirdness. So, but yeah, it's always we've been saying that we could have a reality show because we each have a different personality. Like, and but it's just awesome. I love spending time with them. So.
Yeah, and for me, it's honestly everything here. Well, I won I like the national championship is like definitely one of my favorites because well, we played so well, and like so during the round before practice round, we had like a walk through the course, and I looked at my phone. We walked 35 floor, or we climbed 35 floors, like for like an 18-hole walk. So like that kind of tells you how hilly that course was. And like on the TV, I think like everyone looked really energetic, and we were like so on it the whole time. So I think that kind of says like how badly we wanted it, and everyone's just so pumped up. And like I know for myself, like I was almost dead after the tournament. It's like it took me a while like for my body to register that I'm actually exhausted, but like during it I was just like so pumped the whole time. And just to have my teammates cheer me on, like once like the last round of stroke play, of course, that whole out, it was just unreal. Like the green was so elevated, I had no idea where it went. I just knew it was a good shot, but then I never like hold out like on like in front of a TV. So like everyone's like screaming, I'm like, it's either gonna be like an inch from the hole or it's in. But I wasn't sure which one's it because my teammates always get so excited about all my shots. So like you never know like how good it actually is. So so that was super cool. And then well, East Lake, that was like unreal. Like the weather was miserable the last day, but like we just kind of suck it up and play, just toughen ourselves through it. And just to see Lauren hold the last putt to win the East Lake Cup, it was just like she could have won with two putts, but like she's just that good. She decided to finish it with one putt. Like what can you say about that? Like we're just that good. Yeah, so those are my favorite golf memories and school. Like I just love the small campus that I can like just talk to my professors like personally. Um, so this semester I had this professor for legal environment in the business school, and she did not know anything about golf, but she's like such a sweet lady, and she would like ask me about how my tournaments are going, or like if I have some fun facts to share with her about golf. And like unfortunately she's like retiring, so like I wrote her a thank you email, and she said, oh, it's such a joy to have you in the classroom, and I'm gonna miss you, and if you want to have some like more like legal talks, I'm always here and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, the professors here are just so sweet, and like you just have to love them, and they're like super supportive of like whatever you are doing here. So yeah. And our new like nutrition area and workout area, like Amelia is like super pumped about it too. Like when I saw it, I'm like, oh my god, like what have I done to deserve this? But yeah, like we have like a state of the art facility here, and like I think ours is like kind of Olympic weight room. I'm not very well versed in that area, but like we have like a 90 feet monkey bar, and we have like these screens up there. Like when we're doing weights like deadlifts, we can like look at the speed and the power numbers, and like everyone's like it's also ranked as well, so we can see where we're ranked. And like everyone on the team is so competitive, so it like drives us to like push ourselves like even harder. So I think that's like a really cool feature. And then with the nutrition area, we can just like get good fuel like before and after workout. Like we would eat like have pre-workout snack and post-workout like kind of breakfast and like stuff like that. And it's like it has been like really cool for us, and I think that it's like also showing our results like through this season since we play so well. So Amelia, do you want to add anything to that?
I think you got it, nailed it on the head there, Swing. I don't think.
I think
Just
Ryan
slaps
summarized
to
it
that.
well. Swing likes a lot of things about Lake.
Mm-hmm.
But you also mentioned, Swing, I think a lot of places of pride, points of pride that we all have on the call, talking about the interpersonal relationships and the ability to get to know our professors and the interest that they take in each one of their students, whether they're a student athlete or not. The resources, the campus life, there's a lot of places of pride that we all have. Let's enter quick rapid fire bonus, one word answer, maybe two word answer question phase. Going to go back to Andrew Blaisdell's quick question about favorite golf movie. So let's go. Just the movie title, no description. Alphabetical order by first name. So Amelia, you're going to be up first, and I'll buy a little bit of time for you to think, and everyone else to come up with an answer. Favorite golf movie? Go.
Happy Gilmore.
Kim?
Tin Cup. Love Tin Cup.
Caddyshack.
Ryan?
Caddyshack.
Swing.
I've never watched one.
That's the
Just make
most
something up.
NCAA last year, right? She does only reality shows.
That's right.
Yep, that.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, we've had a handful of questions about recruiting and how y'all have been able to recruit in this environment. Incoming recruits. Richard Hazelwood asked news and status in the incoming class. I think that was probably our most popular question of those that were submitted in advance. How has COVID-19 impacted recruiting? What are you doing to continue to recruit in this environment? Christy Maya had asked, real question I really wanted to ask, we're going to win a national championship this year? Answer is yes, of course. But maybe Kim, Ryan, just talk a little bit about the recruiting process, both those that are incoming onto the roster this fall, and how you've been able to stay in touch with both those individuals coming in this fall and other recruits still out there in the pipeline.
I'll start, and then Ryan, I'll let you go over if you're good with the recruits coming in, the resumes.
Yeah.
But what we've been doing so far, we're good through 21. I guess we can't discuss who our 21 is, but we're looking to recruit for 22. And so starting June 15th, we can actually start talking to our 22 recruits that we're interested in. And it's going to be different because we're in a dead period. We're not allowed right now to go watch golf. And we don't know how long that's going to be. They keep extending it little by little. So we don't know when we'll be able to get out there and actually do evaluations. So a lot of what we're going to be doing is virtual. So this is something that Ryan and I have been learning to do, thinking through how are we going to recruit virtual. Fortunately for our 22s, we have seen them all play, and we've pretty been ahead and evaluated those players. So now it's going to be recruiting virtual. So what does that look like? We're going to probably be walking around showing them campus virtually, having them have conversations with our strength coach, having them have team Zoom meetings so they get to know the relationships between the team. So exactly, for us, it's a learning curve of what that's going to look like. And I could see this being the new thing in recruiting. This could be something that we're going to see more of just because of the state that that we're in right now. So it's an interesting learning curve that I think is going to end up being something that we'll be living in from now on. But we're good up through 21. We have a great incoming class coming in, and I'll let Ryan go through. He's great with their resumes.
So our girls that are incoming this fall, we have 2 from the United States, Georgia Ruffalo from Florida in the Tampa area, and Caroline Smith from just outside Chicago. And they're the best or one of the better players in their states and regionally. They have a lot of upside. And as far as they have all their stuff turned in and they're good to go. So they're just kind of excited and waiting for the fall to get here. And then our international is Mimi Rhodes from England. She's from England. She goes to school in England. Her parents live in Spain, so she kind of commutes back and forth. But she's ranked 82nd in the world, and that's not just juniors, that's juniors and amateurs as well. So she's a very good player. Finished in the semifinals of the British Am and the British Girls last year. She's a national team player for their women's team. So she's very, very well versed in international competition. Her situation is she's got everything good to go academically with the NCAA clearinghouse. She's just waiting for the U.S. Embassy in England to open up at the end of June so she can get her visa stuff taken care of. And that's something that, as coaches and administration from all universities, we're just kind of waiting on what's going to happen with travel and what's going to happen with the visa stuff. So, we're just kind of waiting and hoping everything works out, as quick as possible. But yeah, we're excited to have them get here in a couple of months, and we'll see. Ready to get the fall started.
And I figure, having that incoming class to join our already experienced class of last year. We're not losing anyone because with swing returning and having the success we had last year, and then also having these 3 young ladies come in with great resumes. I do think that you'll see across the board because a lot of people are able to retain their good players like we were with swing, that you're going to start to see that college golf this year in the spring, you're going to see a lot of lower scores. I think you're going to start to see women's competitive golf be very competitive with them being able to bring folks back and also having their strong freshmen come in. So I think it'll be a great time for women's golf. You're going to see a lot of low scores in the national championship. You should see some really, really good golf. So I think it'll be an interesting time in our sport, and we're thrilled where we are and the folks that we're bringing back and putting out there. I look forward to seeing what's going to happen.
Yeah, and could I just add to that? I think that it's a testament to our players and their competitive nature and the pride they take in what they do. Is right after the season ended, everybody was like, all right, what do we need to do to get ready for next year? And as a coaching staff, we're trying to find a little bit of an edge because everyone's going to have good players coming back and coming in. So, the time is now, and it may be May, and, we should be at the national championship right now. So that means we have a year until the next national championship. But, trying to figure out where's a little edge here or there, and what can I do today and this week for 12 months, for a tournament in 12 months. So, kind of after we got over that little disappointment, it's kind of been onward since then. So it'll be, I know everybody's just ready for the fall to get here.
Kim, Ryan, you touched on a couple of topics that were also asked in different ways by some questions. Before I get into those questions, I just want to this is a commercial part of our broadcast today. You both mentioned maybe our favorite recruit, our number 1 recruit coming back, Swing. So Swing had the opportunity through the NCAA to come back for a 5th year of eligibility at Wake Forest. And Wake Forest was very fortunate to be able to provide that opportunity to Swing through those Excellence Fund contributions. So many of you on this call, in this conversation, have contributed to the Women's Golf Excellence Fund, whether this year, last year, whether that restricted account or the endowment account. This is an opportunity for us just to say thank you on behalf of Swing, the golf program, the athletic department. It's that private philanthropy that is providing us the opportunity to Ryan's point, have a competitive advantage by bringing in the best student athletes and put ourselves in position to succeed, in addition to allowing Swing the opportunity to get a master's in business analytics, stuff that is so far over my head, but something that's very exciting for her and her future as well. So thank you to everyone in this conversation as well. So I'm going to get back, Ryan, you mentioned the idea of competitive advantage, and scores are going to be lower. There's probably some creative ways that we can find opportunities to identify new areas of creative advantage. So this is a question that Doug Hartzema asked. As you, and more specifically to Kim, but Ryan as well, Kim, since you took over the program, there have been a number of enhancements and a number of additions to the program. So his question was twofold. What was the most pressing gap in your program's budget as you came in here? And as you look at the program now, what can we invest in that would continue to provide us a new competitive advantage moving forward?
When I came in, the budget was significantly lower than, and I've talked about this before, than where I had come from prior to. And so I think just folks realizing that immediately were helpful in donations and support. And then, as soon as we mentioned that swing was coming back, we had a lot of folks that were interested in helping us to bring her back. And that is a strong advantage. I had a phone call with the reporter the other day, and he said, Wisconsin said, no way, no one's allowed to come back. And I thought, well, I was so fortunate. I had a conversation with John Curry, and I said, are we okay with bringing swing back? How do you feel? He goes, Kim, I want what's best for your program. If you think bringing swings back is best for this program, we'll make it work, and we'll make sure that we, can help you find the support. And you all have done that. And, having these recruits come in, there's someone on the call that's helped me be able to recruit some of the best internationals because of the help that they've done with some of the taxes and the things that we're having to take care of. And so just being to have that support group from you guys that say, you know what, we're in the need for this, or we're in the need for that, and then you all come at the right time and make things happen for us. And I think that's why we've been as successful as we've had in the last few months too. And so we really, really appreciate that. I even there's another couple on the call here, and we had a predicament with a van situation, and they heard about it, and they quickly said, hey, can we give you money for this van situation? And right there on the spot. And so for me, I was going to bed worried about a budget issue that I was going to go over, and they had taken care of it. So I slept really well. I appreciate that, you guys. So saying that, it's those things that this community versus some that I've been in the past is strong, and they love Wake Forest athletics, and they love their student athletes, and it shows, and we very, very much appreciate it. And yes, to the question, we're invited back to Eastlake. So please, everybody, put it on your calendar. October 26th-ish. I'll have to get the exact dates for you when our schedule comes out. But make a road trip down there. It's worth it. And I think Andrew would say that too. He was there and participated, and it's worth the drive down there. It's a blast.
I second that call for all of our fall events. We invite all of you to participate in whichever events are closest to you. Love to see you out on the course, the ATL especially. So y'all continue. We'll all be there to party at Blaisdell's house. Continue to post those questions there in the chat box. We do have a few minutes, maybe time for just a few more questions. But I'm going to get back to another point that, Ryan, you had brought up as you were reviewing some of the incoming recruits, and you brought up how we do recruit internationally. Something that Glenn Simpson had asked us as he submitted a question in advance, given the international makeup of the team, and this relates back to kind of the current environment that we're in. How have you all maintained contact with everyone? How have you maintained an ability to keep up with everyone throughout this crisis, given that international makeup of the team? I think that question, Amelia and Swing, if you want to jump into that on how you kind of continue to stay in touch from a team standpoint, but also for Ryan and Kim from a coach student athlete engagement point of view. Does the international makeup create complications that you have found ways to overcome?
I guess I can jump in here. So actually, we had a Zoom team meeting last week just to catch up with the entire team and welcome our incoming freshmen. So that was a lot of fun. That was like more than an hour. So we just talked about a lot of random stuff. I thank God for the technology right now. It's so much easier to see each other's faces, and I think when the semester was still on, we had some random FaceTimes with the team, not necessarily the entire team, but sometimes we were like, you know what, I'm feeling like a FaceTime right now, and somebody just styles it, and somebody else is gonna pick it up, and we just talk about random stuff for a little bit. So yeah, that's one of the things that we've been doing. And two, like as we've mentioned earlier, like the trick shots, because like we're trying to connect everyone's videos, and like we're like trying to like provide ideas about like what we can do for trick shots, like probably not just trick shots, like everything else, like just like for our social media stuff. And like sometimes we will like talk about like how we will caption stuff, like just like random things like that. And um like we also like just share like funny Instagram posts, like just like it's like the little things to stay connected, because we're like so used to like staying like just being this big family with everyone on a team. Like we just like share everyththing that we see pretty much. And like and we just kind of keep doing that like during this time to stay connected. And so like, everyone's like, okay, I know you're doing fine, you love this post and I love that post too. It's just like stuff like that, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, basically what Swing said, we talk to each other multiple times a week, almost every day. So whether it's, a funny video that we saw or something to kind of uplift us during times when we could be, a little more down. So I think we're always supporting each other, and we're always making sure that everyone's all right and everyone's good. There's a Rachel, Julia, and I are in this Bible study with a bunch of other golfers from many different schools. So that's been another way where we've been able to be connected and talk about some really deep things during this time. So yeah, I think and then Hannah Rose and I are in another Bible study together with Athletes in Action through Wake Forest. So yeah, we're always staying connected. It kind of feels like summer, but just really extended, or winter break where we can't see each other. So yeah, I'm so glad that we have we have phones and stuff that we can text each other, or else it'd be really, really hard. But yeah, so we're always staying in touch, and I just can't wait to see all of you guys again.
Witnessing the camaraderie that you all have and the culture that's obviously evident in the program is just, it's impressive, even seeing it through a computer screen right now. So credit to you all for continuing to embrace and grow that culture and stay out with each other during this time. Maybe just another question or two. There's been a couple of questions asked about fall schedule and understanding where that is, and I think maybe that's been inferred a little bit, but I don't know, Kim or Ryan, if you want to just talk a little bit about how you're approaching the fall. Another Christy Myatt asking about the summer golf camps, where they stand. And maybe Kim, Ryan, just jump in and chat a little bit about how you're approaching summer and fall from that standpoint.
Summer camps right now, right now we're canceling any of the junior camps. We've postponed our ladies camp to September. We're waiting on if we could possibly do, individual type small group camps, waiting to see if the campus opens up. And then also, making sure that we put the right safety guidelines in. And so we're sort of following along on what Wake Forest is, what they're doing, how they're opening up the university. And we're just making sure that we're doing everything we can to make sure everyone's safe. So right now, there are no camps on the table for the summer, and the ladies camp is moved to September, which is going to be a blast because it's over a football weekend. And so we're going to make that a large event, and Coach Daly obviously is going to be there. And so we're thrilled to have her for that. And what the fall schedule looks like right now, we still have the schedule set. So I'm going to read it off, but we're planning the Annika September 13th through the 16th, Oklahoma's event September 26th through the 28th, Chapel Hill October 9th through the 11th, and then East Lake the 24th through the 28th. Now, saying that, we've got on the back burner some more regional type tournaments. So, of course, the Annika and East Lake are very, very good for our programs. They're great media coverage for our programs as well. So we're going to do our best if they happen for our student athletes, if that's again, the safest thing for us to do as well, but to get to those events. Oklahoma, to be honest, it's a wonderful event. And if we can keep that on the books, great. But if we feel like that we need to stay regionally for safety reasons and or helping with budgetary reasons for what's going on. We have got some things in the back burner that are more regionally. So we may change that. There you may see a little bit some different things in the schedule, but Annika, Chapel Hill, and Eastlake, we're hoping to keep those firm, and we'll wait and see about Oklahoma when we may change that to a more regional event.
Fantastic. Well, I think we have time maybe for one more question, so maybe we'll combine this question with any closing commentary that you each might want to share. Last question, which was submitted in advance by Jake. What are you most looking forward to when you come back to campus? So when we're all back in the fall and we finally get to have this conversation and kind of reach out and touch each other and not just be looking at our little 2x2 inch boxes here on the screen. What are we most looking forward to seeing when we get back to campus? I don't know who wants to kick us off first. I know you immediately took yourself off mute. I'm assuming that means you have something good to say. So maybe we'll start with you, Amelia.
Yeah, sure. So there are many things. I guess we can start with the more sentimental things. But I'm obviously so excited to see my team again and Kim and Ryan. I can't wait till we're all practicing together at the facility and seeing the men's team. So that's definitely the thing I'm most looking forward to. Obviously, I'm really excited for tournaments. We're going to be really, really strong this year because we have swing coming back and our freshmen are really good. So I cannot wait because we all motivate each other to be better. We all have this really positive environment around us. So that's like really awesome. I'm also really, really excited to work out again in the facility, like in our sports performance area. I can't wait for that. So yeah, those are, and obviously just being on campus and seeing all the other athletes. Yeah, I'm just, the community at Wake is something that's so special. So I just can't wait to see everyone there.
Yeah.
As I wipe this tear away from my eyes, Swing, you took yourself off mute next. What are you most looking forward to?
Well, it was just the same as Amelia. I just cannot wait to see the team and like the entire team just to practice and kind of practice. Actually, I'm like starting to enjoy workout now, so we'll see what happens when the school starts. Yeah, so I'm excited to see just do that and just to see what happens to this new like program, because like I was a finance major and like in the B school like you basically just take classes with the same people, but then like the next school year I'm going to be like be in a program with like a completely different set of students and professors. So like I'm excited to like just meet these new people and just to see what happens and like just to I guess I learn from a very different perspective. So like I'm super like pumped about that part too. And then it's just the big tournaments like Annika, Eastlake. I really hope that they like stay in the schedule, and Ruth Chris because I love their steak sliders, but who can blame me for that? Yeah, they're so good. I strongly recommend anyone like near that area just to go there. Like they are mind blowing. And if you guys don't know yet, like I'm like a massive foodie. Like I love food and I make a lot of food. Just I'm going a little bit off topic now, but anyways, I'm just excited about everything in general, just to like practicing with the team. Like I have the privilege of like just going to Old Town and play whenever I want, but then it's still like playing by myself is still like different from like playing with my teammates. So I'm like really excited to see that happen again. And just like we are able to connect online through FaceTime, but it's like it still feels better to like physically connect with my teammates, like with the team. So I'm very much looking forward to that, and I guess just everything trying to go back to normal, I guess. But yeah. All right, Ryan, you're off mute.
Yeah,
You're good.
I just want to make sure you're done, Swing. Well, first of all, I'm really excited to start coaching golf instead of teaching kindergarten. I'm completely over that by now. But on a serious note, we have such a great team, and they all care about what they do, and they all care about each other, and they want to be great. So just the feeling of the facility and the synergy that comes from everyone being around each other, I'm just looking forward to being around the ladies again. And I think we're all competitive, and the tournaments are probably the most fun for me, being in the van and being in the moment, even as a coach, whether you have a 20-shot lead like in the Darius Rucker, or it comes down to one of the last matches of the East Lake Cup. Those feelings are just amazing, and I think we've missed that this spring. So that's what I'm excited for. I'm excited to see Swing eat some sliders at North Carolina again too. My arms started getting heavy by the end of the week carrying the to-go boxes out to her on the course. But before I go, I just wanted to say, I mean, we talked a lot about our team and the young ladies that we have on our team, but how amazing is the Lake community, all of you guys that support us. And Paul Kennedy has helped bring Swing back. He's done an amazing job for us, and our administration. I mean, the work that Jane Caldwell has done to help, and her staff to help our ladies get, and all the student athletes get through remote learning, and the leadership that we have under John Curry. I mean, it's just going through this time and the adversity that we've faced really shows you a lot about the kind of group and the community and the leaders that we have. So I just want to say thank you to everybody before I go, and hope to see you guys in person soon.
Very well said, Ryan. Kim, why don't you close us out?
Go. I was going to reiterate what Ryan said, and I think what I'm most looking forward to is getting back within the weight community. I mean, we've learned a lot through the virtual technology, and I think it's something that we will use in the future for sure. But I sure do miss our community and the folks coming up to say hello during practices. The team, my conversations with Ryan, and everyone there at Wake Forest that works in athletics, and the professor. So looking forward just to having that one-on-one time again with everyone, and getting back in that van as soon as I can. Thank you everyone that's on this call. We wouldn't be where we are if it wasn't for you. Swing wouldn't be back here with us, and we sure wouldn't be able to provide the schedule and the opportunities for the student athletes. So thank you.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Ryan, Swing, Amelia. Again, the weight community for joining in on this call, all the support on the course, the support financially. I had a private message a few minutes ago. Thank you. I won't, but thank you for that private message. And I'll put out there again, for those of you that would look to further support our student athletes and golf program financially through that Excellence Fund to help bring Swing back, please reach out to myself. Paul Kennedy is on the call. Paul, if you want to take yourself off mute and raise your hand and say hello. I should have done this earlier. I apologize.
That's okay.
Okay, there he is.
Hey guys, this has been a great hour. Nice to see all your faces, and again, we appreciate everything you do for the program.
I appreciate you all. Again, reach out to myself, Paul Kennedy, anybody on the Dean Club staff. We'd love to help connect you with a cause that's important to you. Again, appreciate the time, the investment, the encouragement you provide to our student athletes and staff. Go Deeks. Look forward to seeing you all this fall. Hopefully in person, we can all cheer on each other in person again. So go Deeks. See y'all soon.
Go Deeks.
Go Deeks.
Go Deeks.